You're Near the Wild with Matt Becker and John Norris, recorded in Anchorage, Alaska. Becker, check yours.
Hello.
One more.
Hello.
Okay, got it.
Grapes of Wrath. Grapes of Wrath.
You're listening to Sir Basil Rathbone.
My first high school play was I played a rock. The Grapes of Wrath.
I'm trying to. I wish I would have known we were going to do this because I would not have turned the air on.
It feels so much better though.
It does. But I don't. I just want to get this in before the Stanhope podcast ramps up again. There's just too much going on right now.
So Trump. So let me get this straight. Trump can't be a racist. But Roosevelt could have polio. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
We're at the Plaza in Vegas. Doug did his 25th anniversary show last night. Becker and John and I we're just hijacking the gear because there's comics here, and especially James Inman, and that's kind of what we're alluding to. So a lot of people that listen to us obviously listen to Doug, so you know what we're talking about.
I think we have separate audiences.
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
I could tell that when I was in a casino. Yeah.
Because I get recognized all the time, and Doug walks through. Nobody knows who the fuck that guy is.
There's a publicist that plans that. That's a thing they do. That's their job.
He wears a fake nose, so if any of you ever see kind of a Doug Stanhope looking figure with a big fake nose, just go pull on that nose.
Well,
just yank the shit out of that putty nose.
Look for the seam of the nose putty before you yank on it, because it might just be someone.
No,
like just rocking that.
It's 100% guaranteed to be Stanhope.
Anyone need a drink?
I have a drink.
I have.
We're just doing this until they come back in, but
we sneak in our podcast in between the marathon Stanhope
podcast.
This is like we're good at this. They're like fucking amateurs, so it takes them forever. We come in like professionals.
But yeah, the weekend was good. It was far.
You did great last night, John. Okay, John, you've never been to a Doug Stanhope production.
True.
Last night was a little different than what we usually do. In that there were 8 comics.
Yeah,
it was comics.
Yeah.
And God bless all those people that just stood there the whole time.
Rock and roll show we usually do, but we don't usually do a rock and roll show in a venue that hosts comedy, which Alex here.
Thank you, Alex.
That is one of those things where they have experienced comedy. They know what is going on, so they don't say, so in between each comic, do we have an intermission?
Yeah. You want us to play music?
Yeah. So it is really, I mean, they didn't have to pay for the sound man to sit there, but he was funny anyway.
Yeah.
But he was mad at me. He was like, the sound guy was super mad at me the whole time.
It's a weird thing. You're in the sound world back there.
Yeah.
And
I was fucking up the acoustics the whole night.
We had neighbor Dave and Floyd who wanted to be able to sit.
Right.
And I thought, well, back here it's like they're storing a bunch of gear and stuff, and it's a clear line of sight to the stage.
Right.
Why don't we put them back there? And then I put Becky back there, and then I put Joanne back there, and then I'm like, these are people that
if you give a Ggreg a cookie, he's gonna want the whole fucking.
These are
backstage.
people that like Becky is short. It's gonna be
not
horrible.
Gonna see anything.
Yeah. Hey, everyone fucking sweated their balls off anyway. It's not like there was air conditioning blowing over there. No. It's just they didn't have like people standing in front of them.
The view, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And after about the 5th person I loaded in back there, that guy's this ain't going to happen all night, and I'm like, well. That was Nigerian. He was more.
No, he was Welsh.
Yeah, Welsh.
He told me Welsh.
I can't do Welsh. I can do Nigerian. But he was like, and I'm like, okay, that's it. And then we had to stop. But it is one of those things where a rock and roll club is always different because they're standing the whole time, and at about hour 45, they're fucking tired of standing there. Right. No matter how much they want to see everything that's going on, they're gonna start getting restless. So we had to really fucking kind of keep it going. But.
I was great. I enjoyed the shit out of the show, and I could pop into the front and take some pictures. I got some great pictures of Becker just murdering it.
Yeah.
So,
it was fun. It was one of those things where it was like, just the history of it. I was like, I'm coming down. And when you told me it was on a Sunday, I go, I can go Sunday.
Well, that was the thing. And then I didn't know you guys were going to come down here until we did the last podcast. Mm-hmm. And then I realized it was you guys were trying to surprise me, but we talked about it.
I would have totally bailed if Becker hadn't basically forced me to go.
Yeah, I said, you're going. And he's like, well, what if I don't? I go, I'll kill you.
I'm a big fan of saying like, oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. I can do that and then not doing it.
How
And then-
fucking often does Doug do a Sunday show that's epic in Vegas?
Yeah, which
at
is
the
easy,
Plaza.
easy in, easy out.
So fun.
You like the Plaza?
Yeah, the Plaza's great.
It's great. The pool's nice.
No, the Plaza's not great.
No.
The pool's great.
The pool's
But
great.
the Plaza's not great.
No, the rooms
but
are
it's
fucking,
perfect for us.
The rooms are the rooms
Pay
are the rooms-
$89 to be on the strip and have people fucking.
It's basically, I feel
shoving
like
and
a
pushing.
Spartan warrior in the fucking room because it's like there's no fridge, there's like no
There's
mirrors.
no mirror in here.
It's like a big prison. It's like a triple wide prison cell.
Yeah.
But I like it. I slept
Yeah,
well.
you like that?
It's good.
I got a bunk mate. He's pretty cool.
The capacity. Well, the capacity for fucking punk shows at that place, the dive bar.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Nate and Angie, they're awesome at the dive bar. We had a great
Yeah.
time there. They'll shoehorn people in there. It'll be like 250, 300. Hannigan held it at 175. And then we added 26 to the fucking guest
Yeah,
list.
yeah.
That was our fucking group that showed up.
And
So-
it's a tricky venue because, I mean, to get to the bathroom, you got to keep that lane straight. And the security guy's a
yeah,
huge guy. And I watched Andy, 8 comics going in and out of the back,
Yeah.
hit that guy with the door so many fucking times.
But I talked to him at the end. I go, hey man, sorry about that. That door opened so much. He goes, that means there's a lot of people here. Right on. Thanks for coming. I'm like,
Oh,
what?
wow.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like he
what a great
understands
guy.
how the business
Business works. Yeah. Sunday night when it's packed. How's it going?
Yeah, yeah.
I could. Do you want to play a clip of yours from last night?
Yeah,
Is that
we
something
can
you
do a
wanna
clip. Okay.
But if you want
Is
to
it
think,
playing now? Is it playing?
it can play now. You want to hear it now?
Yeah, let's do.
Yeah.
Oh
Let's do a little
wait. Hold on, give me a second. I gotta run to the back real quick. All right, I'm back. Play it.
I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
we'll just play a little bit of Becker.
Okay.
It'll
Do
be
it.
good.
Yeah. In Vegas.
My other best friend, my bester friend, Matt Becker! 25 years? Unbelievable. I will never remember. I know I do remember actually. But the first time I met Doug, it was so funny because he was at the what was it? The comedy place in Arizona. But he was the MC. Comedy Cove. There you go. Now we got it. And that was right after Doug had fled Las Vegas with a stripper. Like everyone leaves Las Vegas if they know what they're doing. And what's the reason, kids? I'm a bartender. I own a bar in Alaska. I will explain this to you. On my day off, when my wife goes, can you get me a beer? I go, fuck you, I'm not at work. That's why you don't flee with a stripper. You know what strippers do on their day off? They wear flannel and go, fuck you, go pick up my kids. Not my job. That's why you want to marry a librarian. Or a hairstylist. No, they basically make people look cute all day. When they get home, I don't look that bad. First time I met my wife, she said, how would you like your haircut? I go, doggy style. We've been together ever since. That's good though. I love it. It's getting very difficult. I don't give a shit with anybody. I have people now that come in the bar and they whine to me to buy them a drink. They go, you buy me a drink? I'm a single mother. It's a real struggle. I go, if you struggled more in the first place, you wouldn't have got pregnant. Fuck you. You quit in the middle. Pick a name. All right, I'm going to leave you with something fancy. How about something from Alaska? Let's do this. This will be good. So this guy gets a knock at the door. Fucking state trooper comes up to his door and he goes, yeah, can I help you? And he goes, yeah, is your name Mr. Orion? He goes, yeah, it is. Why? He goes, well, I got some bad news, some good news, and some better news. He goes, all right, what's the bad news? He goes, well, your wife was swimming across Ketchimak Bay and she drowned. He goes, fuck, what's the good news? Well, we found her body. When we pulled it up, there are 3 halibut hanging off of it. He goes, fuck. What's the other news? He goes, we're throwing her down again tomorrow at 2. Good night.
So
That was fucking fantastic.
I know.
That
Don't
clip.
fuck. No,
Oh
no
my
one heard
God,
it. No one. We
yeah.
heard it last night. But I love that last night the lineup was me writing down everyone's name who's going to go on stage in no particular order.
Right.
Although I tried to put it in an order.
Right.
But then it was really Doug going up in between each act, and Doug, when he comes off stage, he would introduce the next act, whoever was going to come up, then he'd come off, and then he would tell me who the next person was.
Right.
And it was basically kind of reading the room and reading, more importantly, the drunkenness.
Right.
Becker, you work in a bar.
Yeah.
You're a professional. You were the floater.
Yeah.
Because you were the one who was going to have to fucking just basically, you could go anywhere because you're not going to get fucking wasted,
Right.
and you're going to be rapid fire. You're going to have high energy when you go on stage. So really, you had to always be around because at one point it was like, Andy's got to get up
You
there.
were the secret weapon. Like,
Yeah.
Well, no, you were the one that you knew what you were going to do, how you were going to do it, and your time. Whereas, like, even when Andy went up, Andy did great last night. Even when Andy went up, Tracy's like, over under 4 minutes. He's ditching on this. I'm like, I think he's gonna
maybe.
do 8, and he did. Like
Yeah.
he did just over 8. But it's like we don't know.
Yeah, no, that was
Tracy
it.
could have been under.
That was the
on
wild
that,
card, yeah.
Or she could have been over on that. Yeah, it was fun.
But
It was a great time, and we met a dude from Switzerland who was it Sweden? Who was like the least Swedish person ever.
I think he was a guy who came here from Sweden, maybe works in Sweden or lives in Sweden, but isn't from Sweden.
He was just like, yeah, I spend a lot of time in California. That was his explanation.
That was
for, like,
where I was born.
having
and raised.
zero accent. He's been in Sweden for like 3 weeks.
yeah, he's got dual
Like, I'm
citizenship.
super Swedish.
They were kicking me out anyway. Why you go to Vegas?
If you cut me, I bleed meatballs.
Meatballs.
That's the thing. We haven't gone to Dupree's yet. Becky's got to get
Turkey dinner tonight?
turkey dinner.
Well, now, this is the thing. Now, I've done shrimp cocktail every day I've been here.
Yeah.
But the lovely Chad Shank said that Main Street Station, which is right the next casino over, a lovely buffet.
Oh, yeah?
Fantastic buffet.
That's the Chad Shank endorsement.
Yeah.
The only
Oh,
problem
yeah.
is I know what Becker's up against here. Chad, sit down. Hold on. I got to
down,
figure out
Chad
which one
Shank.
you're at. Take that one right there, Chad. Yeah. Chad Shank joining the Near the Wild podcast.
Fat guys know about buffets.
Well,
Yeah, no, I'm going. Chad Shank would know the meal order of
Yeah.
this town.
the only problem is Becky, the lovely Mrs. Becker, has basically her trip here until she was winning on penny slots.
Yeah.
Her whole motivation was to get the Dupar's turkey dinner, which they serve, 365 year round, full on turkey dinner.
From scratch.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah.
Listen,
You can. It's like a lobster tank, but with turkeys. You go in and you pick the turkey you want, and then they murder it in front of you.
Wait, no, not that one. That one.
Have
that
rubber
one.
bands around their beaks.
they'll take $5 off if you actually slaughter it. Rubber bands around their beaks. They have little socks on their talons. Totally safe. Just reach in and grab.
Well, actually, you don't reach it. Use a crane, and you go down. You
Yeah.
catch it. You got to drop it into the
Oh, that's
boiling
true, 'cause
water.
it's like-
yeah.
They have they have like a big net. It's like a big green net that they try to scoop up the turkeys with. You got to get them in the corner.
Trap them. Yeah, so we're at a quandary. How do we do this?
I don't know. We don't fly out till 6 a.m. on
you got an
Wednesday,
extra
so we
day.
might take her in before we get on the plane.
Yeah.
And I'll turkey her up with that.
Gonna-
Becca
That's a
be
fall asleep, miss the
drunk
flight.
on Adderall, eating turkey. She'll be fine.
That's how you counteract the turkey. You have to have a lot of Adderall.
That helps my Thanksgiving.
Oh, and incidentally, yeah, Becky's slot machine run was epic. I've never seen anything like that.
ever. Once in
Jinx.
I woke up and went down to go because she texted me at like 11:30, like we're at the slots. So I like went down and you guys were both camped out at your slot machines right by the elevators. And I went and ate lunch and made some phone calls and had a life for hours, and then came back and you guys hadn't moved.
And Becky's machine was still ringing.
Yeah.
I went by 4 times
I was going
in
to say
3
the
hours.
same thing. 4 times randomly, I walked past.
I
her.
didn't walk with you. I
No,
walked separate.
no,
We
separately.
all had the same stories.
Ding, 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 ding,
and then I looked
ding,
down.
ding, ding.
It's penny slots.
It's penny slots.
I've
You're right.
never even heard that sound before.
But-
Usually when I play slots, it just makes like a chunk sound and takes
Wah,
my money.
wah, wah,
There's a
wah.
sad
Tell you how
trombone
long she
player
was
behind me.
there. 2 different shift changes happened with the service. one of the servers actually went, or one of the ladies working at the casino went and got Becky a player's card while she's playing for the first 3 hours.
Oh, honey, you need
made
one of
it
these.
And goes, you got to have that in there. And so got her a player's card. I got her pork rinds, and she's like, I just want to quit. And I realized how you win in Vegas. Becky was trying to quit for 6 hours. Everyone around her was trying to win, and they couldn't. She
On
couldn't
$20.
lose. Yeah,
An
$20.
Initial $20
She literally
investment.
played 6 hours on $20.
She was there so long, she actually got drunk from the free drinks they bring you, and that's the first time that's ever
Impossible.
happened.
Yeah.
First time that's
Usually,
ever happened in the history of Las Vegas.
She did ask at one time, the first time we went by, she goes, it's cold down here. Does anyone have a jacket or a blanket? We're getting ready to go out on Fremont.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
It's 105
I
degrees
get that I
out.
might need a blanket at 98 degrees at 10 a.m. down here, but who's like walking around with a blanket? Or
Oh,
like
I have an Afghan that I was just
I would've
bringing
been
with me
bothered
just in
if-
case somebody
Would you like
needed
my
it.
poncho?
Yeah, I would have been bothered if you had one.
Yeah.
Why do you have a blanket in the
You're not even
casino?
walking towards your car. You're not even trying to steal this thing.
Ggreg is a lot like Linus from the Peanuts. He just drags around a blanket just in case.
I upgraded from Pigpen, so you're lucky.
But yeah, she definitely had a blast, and that was one of the funny. And she was just to see right in the middle of it. I go, you got to keep going. This is like talking your wife through a marathon. I go, I'm putting a towel on her, giving her ice.
Becker's got a cowbell. Keep
Yeah.
going, honey.
I know, but she's like, I want to quit. I go, I'll be back. I gotta go fucking help. Go move cars, do something.
The last request when you came up, because you had another little thing you were doing at that right outside the elevator.
Yep.
You had was that 25 cent, 50 cent?
It's a 25-cent one.
25 cent. And what was your
Mine was,
theory?
Well, it's one of the old ones with the single reel. You play two. So you're
line?
playing 50 cents. Yeah, 50 cent. But it paid off at a rate which it wouldn't ever go dead either.
Yeah.
And so I kept going up. It'd run up to 250. I'd cash it out. I put $10 in, and it'd run up to about 160 again, round in there. And so I would just continue to just do that. But hers wouldn't.
But machines are dumb. They think it's a new player.
Right.
See, while you guys were spending your whole day doing that, I just went and lost a bunch of money in the blackjack table immediately. I'm a much better gambler. I'm
More
much more
efficient.
efficient. I'm just like, all right, I have 5 minutes. Let's just give this person all my money.
So
and I'm out.
So I ended up, making out like a bandit because I got my money back while Becky was busy running up hundreds of pennies.
She's penny rich. I wish that it actually still paid her out in like pennies, like falling.
To
out
tell
of
you
the
how bad it
shop.
was, the housekeepers make more than Becky did.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was.
Well, the last thing
Well, not per hour. I think they're about even per hour.
at the last thing she requested before you guys came up victorious was a pair of socks, which I thought was. I think she was wearing some mules or something, so she was barefoot and she needed some socks. And then you guys came up with the ticket. It was over 5 hours later. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 cent.
for
ticket.
3
3-cent ticket,
3 cents,
which I
that was
thought
finally-
was so
That's
comedy.
a lot of time for 3 cents.
They did not have a bet for 3 cents, but it's time stamped, and so we're gonna frame it, and I'm gonna get the picture of her when she was hitting it, going, how I spent 6 hours in Las Vegas for 3 cents.
Other people that's in front of the car they won.
But it's a penny slot. Couldn't you have used those 3 cents?
No,
Like a minimum.
30 was the minimum.
You play
so-
all the lines is 90.
I realized that the last time when I was here, last week I was playing some, I think it was pennies or whatever, but I didn't realize that it was like a 50-cent minimum, so it wasn't pennies at all. I had to
No.
pay 50 cents each
And,
time.
and to be fair, her rounds every time were 90 cents a spin. So really, she's playing
almost a dollar
dollar
machine,
slots.
yeah.
Dude,
And
she's a
nobody
high
gets that.
roller.
No, but nobody gets that. They're like, oh no, this isn't bad. I put a 20 in one of those penny ones, hit it twice, it goes.
That's why the poor people.
I
are
hit the
gonna
thing.
stay
It must
poor
be
forever.
malfunctioning. They go, no, it's $10 a spin. I go, for penny? I played a $10 slot machine. Yeah, well, you hit max, and I got nothing.
Well, when I got down and I had 25 cents left and I couldn't make another bet because it was a 50-cent minimum. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
fuck. And then I didn't think about it. I should have just printed the ticket and put it in a quarter machine, but I don't really gamble. So I was like, well, fuck, I guess I lost 25 cents. So I went to walk away.
You actually lost everything
And the
you've ever
other-
made in your
well,
life.
I lost whatever I put in there. I don't gamble. So
There goes
it
your
wasn't
401k,
much.
Chad. Gone.
But next to me was 2 machines, and one had 2 cents and one had 3 cents. And I go, I guess that's a fucking common thing that happens is people end up leaving. And a few minutes later, I moved over and I was sitting a couple feet away, and I saw these 2 chicks run in all furtively, and one of them just runs through and pap, pap, pap. hat and pulls all those
Oh,
free
the cards,
tickets
yeah.
out, hands them back to her friend, and her friend has like a 3.5-inch high stack full of just
the
I was
cash
like,
out coupons.
What a
Isn't
fucking
this
hustle,
the
man!
premise of Office Space?
No, it
Where
was-
if it's
yeah,
just
no.
a quarter of a penny.
The
Yeah,
half,
oh,
the
yeah.
half a cent.
Yeah.
Superman 2 with
They
Richard
make it
Pryor.
rounds up.
Superman
Yeah,
2 with
Super-
Richard Pryor.
That's Superman.
They now
4.
own the
Superman
New York,
4.
New York.
Yeah.
Today, it just went down.
They bought it.
I got it on my
Here's
phone.
our slips. Put cash me in.
I was so impressed.
Everything's
with that
in
that
order
I was-
here.
I was glad to have contributed a quarter to their hustle. I was like, good job.
That was
were
a
a
big.
big
That was a
one.
big
Yeah,
score
yeah.
for them. You're like
I was
the,
a
you're
dumbass
the whale.
in there. I was like, why didn't that guy pull that out and put it in the quarter machine behind him?
Actually,
He's
I think you
retarded.
get stock in the New York now.
My new special, Doug Stanhope, No Place Like Home, is premiering on CISO, September 15th. There you go. Explain CISO, Brian.
Well, CISO is an over-the-top subscription streaming service from NBC Universal.
And where do they get it? Where do they go?
You
How do they
go
do it?
online, you go to CISO.com, spell SEESO.com.
Like, I see you, so.
Yes, I see
CISO.
so, and then it's all about comedy. They're all about comedy.
All comedy.
Yeah,
all
they're-
the time.
They're an enormous comedy benefactor.
How late are they open?
They're open 24 hours, Doug.
All week?
All week.
Even the day of the Lord?
Yep, 365, 247.
And what this is going to be hundreds of dollars a month.
Well, you would think with the quality that CISO have, it would be at least $1 bajillion. But that's just one of their shows, $1 bajillion properties. They are actually free if for 2 whole months, which frankly could be as long as you need them, to see your special multiple times.
Right. So go to CISO and get my special free, basically.
Yeah, basically, all you need to do is sign up using the password, and it's a crafty one, Stanhope, and you'll get 2 free months.
Right, so get that. Big J Okerson's on that. Harmon Quest, Rooftop Comedy. There's a bunch of shit on there. Just fuck you guys. You listen to the podcast. Go to CISO, get the fucking special for free, and judge for yourself. No Place Like Home. Get it on CISO. Get CISO now. Becker, have you been gambling on this trip?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I haven't heard stories.
Yeah, no, nothing really that good. I got like unstuck with this weird slot machine.
What were you
today,
playing?
but-
Slots?
Slots, yeah, but there's no poker here, so it's fucked me.
Oh, that's right.
I know.
Well,
But I'm a
Becker and
Hitler.
I were here at the Plaza playing poker.
Doug
We're-
Stanhope has joined the Near the Wild podcast.
Oh,
so-
yeah.
Our listeners have no idea who Doug Stanhope
Yeah, I
is.
know.
So
We were here playing at the Plaza years ago in the day where a cockroach crawled across the table
And we think
slowly.
it's hysterically funny.
The dealer didn't seem to care, and I'm like, there's a cockroach on the table, and at some point he kind of shuffles
Shoot it like a Buddhist.
shuffles it along, and I go, now can we get a buffet comp? Because we've been at the table for like 11 hours.
Yeah.
No.
No. And I said, why don't you get one of those like craps sticks and you can just scoot them out of the way like the dice. It's like,
Let me get this straight.
If you think the poker table has cockroaches, you see the buffet.
I was gonna say at the place they had cockroaches at a table where there's no food.
Yeah.
You wanted to go and eat there? Come on.
They used to have stuff back then.
Yeah.
But what was the fight you got into?
I got in a
At the
fight.
poker table.
Yeah, I got in a fight with the guy.
Here at the Plaza?
Yeah. I got in a huge
Was
blow
this
up.
was this
This
cards
90s.
cards? Was this cards
90s.
cards or the electronic one?
I think we might have been stud back then. I think we
Yeah.
used to play
But it's
stud.
real cards where everyone's sitting
Yeah.
there and being
Yeah,
grumpy.
Yeah, and I'm playing against this guy and he's in a NASCAR jacket. And I was like, all right, whatever. And
Becker tends to talk a lot of shit if you don't know.
yeah, I mean, no, I have fun at the table. I mean, like the Flamingo gives me like all
No,
the
we
time
play
I want. They
poker
give me
in-
free rooms at the Flamingo. They go, Matt, when you come and anytime you want, we'll give you a room. Fucking play at least 6 hours a day.
You do that with the people you work with when we were in Anchorage playing
Yeah.
in your backyard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the fucking way it goes.
But when no one knows him, he Phil
Yeah.
Hellmuths the table.
no, I get them to play into me because they go, this guy. But I've had them
Yeah.
lose too. I've had people at our other games, they lost. They go, I like you. I'll let you have it. Or, you know, I mean, in other words, you win them over where they're like, they don't want you to get knocked out. When you're playing poker for money and they don't want you to lose, that's a great fucking game.
This is before America knew the term on tilt.
Yeah.
Becker put someone on tilt in a NASCAR jacket.
Yeah, and the guy gets on tilt, and then finally I know I'm going to ding him, so I'm sitting there fucking playing, and I got like a shit hand, but I've been playing everything and hitting it. So I'm sitting there, all of a sudden, I look down, and the flop comes out all spades, and I'm like, oh, fuck, and I'm looking going, hey, that's not just good, that's great. And I'll tell you in a second. And then the next card comes out, it's not. And he's got like 200 in front of him. I go, all in. And the guy goes, call. He goes, I'll win. I got the ace. I got the nuts flush. I have the straight flush. But unfortunately, the guy didn't have a hand rank card. So he starts grabbing the pot and dragging. I go, I have the straight flush. He goes, so what? I got the ace of spades. And I go, you need to get my money. And so I grab his arm, and then he goes to hit me. And the dealer puts his arm and goes, hang on, we're going to need security for this.
And I think somehow we got thrown out.
The black guy comes. So the guy ends up fucking having this hoo-ha.
Always got to make it racist.
No, but then the black security guard comes up, and no, this is what's funny is he comes out and he's a lackluster job, and they say, okay, guys, you're both out of the game. I go, all right, well, just give me my winnings. So I get my winning, and he goes, and I'm giving the guy shit. I go, really? You throw the winners out too? I can't believe you're not busier. And I go, and the guy goes, well, you know, you could have handled it differently. I go, he was taking my pot. You could have been in charge. I go,
you could have just let him punch you, Becker. You could have handled that way differently.
And so I got into a brouhaha, and the security guard leaves over me and goes, hey, buddy, you staying at the hotel? And I go, the black guy goes, you staying at the hotel? And I go, yeah. He goes, careful, they take all your shit and throw it out front. After they beat the shit out of you, they throw you out front with all your shit in front of the club. He goes, yeah, you don't end up like that. I go, guess I'm going to my room.
And you were like, how do you know that? And he's like, that's my job.
But no, it was the nicest security guy I've ever met.
I had to get all your shit right now.
I think I gave him like $20. I was like, thanks. He was like, I wouldn't say another word. This guy's a dick. But yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Good old Vegas.
Yeah, old Vegas was a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, this still is old Vegas, but it's not.
No,
the poker room's gone.
Again.
One of my best roulette fucking where the pit boss is coming over. How can he have a system at this? No, it's just fucking on a wicked roll.
Yep.
Yeah, we had some good times here. Still.
Yeah. Do you remember the time we were playing at the Plaza, playing poker, 1-2, no limit, and that one guy was all fidgety and he kept changing his chips in with the other guy, with the dealer, and we're both playing. It's an old guy sitting there. And all of a sudden, we realize he's one of the guys that own the Plaza.
Oh, that's right. The chips had the owner's face on some of the chips, and at one point, we look at our chips and realize this is that dude across the table. And his face.
And the best part is he's playing 1-2 limit. Yeah, it was 1-2 limit. And we're like, wow, you play a bigger game? He goes, I didn't buy a casino playing higher limit.
I didn't know that was a bonus of having your own casino. Is you put your face on the chips.
Oh yeah,
that seems like the biggest thing ever.
Best game of pool I ever played was when I was leaving Las Vegas when I lived here, and we did acid on my birthday, and went to 6s and 8s, playing pool there, coming down from acid. So you're not real fucked, but you see all the angles.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fucking. If you've done acid, you know.
Like the lines in the table.
I was playing my ass off and almost beating this guy all the time for money, like small money. I was 21, but still, almost beating this guy. That's very good. But I was never played a game of pool like that. And then I went to the bathroom. It's like 6 a.m. What are you gonna do? And there's a fucking pool table, pool tournament poster with all these pictures of the people. And the dude's pictures on there. I come out and go, all right, yeah, it's one thing to be a shark, but you can't have your face on the fucking wall, man.
That's hysterical.
He goes, yeah, but you were playing pretty good.
That's great.
And you felt like fucking Paul Newman the whole time.
Well, I think we're probably playing for beers.
Yeah.
Still,
it was like
pride.
That low of stakes.
Yeah.
And 6s and 8s, beers were what? Fucking 75 cents?
He's working on how to like lose convincingly.
Yeah. But don't get me wrong, they still broke his thumbs.
No, don't.
No, he can
Out.
stand there as long as it doesn't
He's
talk
gonna,
real
he wants
loud.
to start talking. I don't want him doing
I know,
it. I want
but
Tom. Can Tom get in here?
Yeah.
Tom,
Tom,
get in here.
take my seat.
Talk. No, Doug. I want you guys to talk. Old Vegas. Old Vegas. Yeah,
Old Vegas.
Yeah. Sit down. Right here. Right here. No, right here. Yeah.
Tom Konopka started working. This is a different podcast, by the way, if you don't know.
Alaska one.
This is his podcast.
I thought
Call
it
of
was
the
my
Wild.
podcast actually, but
Well, we don't. No one.
when
No
you're-
one
when you're not
recognizes
around
him.
I have 300 followers on Twitter. I'm a pretty big deal, guys. So watch what you say. My
Tom-
fans will come back
Tom
at you.
started dealing here in '81 for the mob from Atlantic City.
How'd you get the job? They call you?
No, what happened is when I started in Atlantic City, this is when it was just smoking. I worked at Harrah's. It was 1980. I was a dice dealer. They had 36 dice tables jamming. And after about a year of that insanity, a friend of mine that worked here years ago, he said, "You want to go to Vegas?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And that was it. When you came out, what you had to do, there was no human resources. You literally had to go up and say, "Hi, my name is Tom. I'm a dice dealer," or whatever. "Do you have any openings?" And I went to a place called the Sundance, which is now the D on Fremont Street. It's famous, right?
The D?
Yeah, the D for downtown. But it was originally before that the Fitzgeralds. And then before that it was the Sundance, all mob. And I went up to the pit boss literally 21 days in a row saying, "Hi, my name's Tom. I'd like a dice job if you have it." Excuse me. And he eventually got so sick of it, obviously, you see where it's going. He just said, "Yeah, you're hired." But he wanted to see me, and you had to go do your...
What was
you
that?
know,
What's the interview process like?
Nothing. Get on the table, show us what you can do. That's it.
You can't
Show
lie
me-
in that interview.
No, there's no interview. no, I mean,
You don't
literally
speak Spanish.
because the pit bosses that you're dealing with were all like card mechanics and sharps. I mean, this is no bullshit. So they didn't want to hear shit. Show us why we should hire you and not those other four guys that were literally behind you. And you had to shine, and I guess they sparkled a little or something, but it was fucking great.
Do you remember like what year was it roughly? I think I asked you this the other day. When the mob got defeated by corporate.
87.
87.
87, Spilatra, right around that period.
Was that like a different? Did the people who came to Vegas, was it different? Like people wearing suits walking around, not like me, like wearing a fucking splattered
Yeah, I mean,
khaki
there's
cargo
a lot of
shorts?
that. That harkens back more to like the 50s and 60s, you know, the Rat Pack. It was long gone. But by the time I got here in 81, now they were trying to, you know, let's bring our kids. They were making it the Child Wonderland, Disneyland, and it was a fucked concept. That didn't work. And but the mob bosses, the funny thing is the mob bosses that I got to work around, and it's not, I wasn't special, it was ubiquitous, everybody did, but they were all like pissed off ones because the really good successful mobsters or associates were all out of business or, you know, they're in the Cayman Islands. These are the angry fucks that couldn't leave. So now they're pissed and fucking, I mean. That's
And these were your bosses?
Yeah, these were the ones.
These were the crime doesn't pay guys. They were like, fuck this shit.
They were miserable, but every one of them had a story, and every one of them in every part of the casinos, it wasn't, especially back in those days, this is when a guy like Benny Binion, a known Dallas mobster, I mean, comes and just with a trunk full of about, I don't know how many million, just, I'm going to buy this. And he brings his own security guards. And that was the best because the Binion security guards were all 6'5", 350 pounds, strapped up. Metro was not even allowed in Binions because they're not going to do shit that these guys aren't going to do. These guys are fucking powerlifting killers, and they've got it's true. They've got carte blanche. And when I worked at the Mint, was right next door to Binions, where we got off work, we would walk about 5 steps, and we're into Binion's back bar, where drinks were 50 cents a piece. And it was a different fucking time. It was just fucking great.
They had the $2.99 18-ounce porterhouse steak.
No, this harkens back to what you said, Matt. I was laughing. Literally, the first day that I got to Vegas, a friend of mine, Gary, that worked here, we came out together. I'd never been to Vegas. He had. We stayed at Binion's, and we got a taxi from McCarran to Binion's, and it sounds like a movie, but it literally happened. We're walking in the entrance by the valet with these suitcases. The doors swing open like a saloon. Boom! And 2 of these monsters had this old dude, gray hair, gray beard, I shit you not, over their head. And I almost got knocked over, and he's screaming, quote, "This is what they do to winners. This is what they do to winners." I swear to God. On my mother. That's true. And then they dumped his ass in the fucking gutter. That's no bullshit. And my friend Gary, it's like a script. My friend Gary said, "Welcome to Las Vegas." And that's the truth. And that happened. That now after
It
we
was,
drank
and then a
it.
big black bouncer came up to him and like said,
No
"Hey,
black
you
bouncers.
should get out of here
No.
before they."
It's good. It's good for the bit. No black bouncers. No black. It wasn't completely still segregated, but yeah, no. This was the white man throwing the white man in the fucking. This is what they do to win. Shut the fuck. Boom.
Yeah.
And it was great.
He said one more word than I did.
Yeah. Yeah. What was the question?
Becker,
Whacking
when's the
on it.
first time we came to Vegas? Do you remember?
I'm trying to think. It was. I mean, it's got to be around 80.
I don't know if we
something.
I don't think we ever did a gig together.
When we came here, we didn't do a gig. We came up from Arizona, and we came up and went. And because you'd always talked about Vegas, because as I said, I met Doug 8 months after he moved in there, and we came down there. But he
for your
glorified
podcast, Tom Konopka and I did telemarketing here as I was getting into open mic stand-up comedy, and then I moved to Phoenix and met you. So within a year,
Yeah.
we knew
this
each
time.
other.
Thanks for the context.
And he told me all the stories. Like I heard stories about you and all of it. And he talked about Vegas. Like, oh my God, we used to go, blow my whole paycheck at a weekend, get hookers and and all this shit. And then we go back there and he goes, "This is a horrible town for comedy. You compete with everything. It's just brutal." I go, "Why are we here again?"
Yeah. No,
Well, we came to gamble.
Yeah,
'cause
no,
you're
but
fat
we did.
gambling.
For the
Yeah.
hookers
remember
and the
hard, yeah.
We would get a room. Yeah, we get a room for $19. We go hit those buffets and stuff, and we'd go double our money we had. We'd pool our money and go, we either win or we're gonna fucking drive home on fumes. But we got very lucky a couple times.
Yes. A few times.
The weird thing for me, it was that whole, just the contrast coming from Atlantic City where there were millions of dollars on the dice tables. Literally, you couldn't see the layout. That's not an exaggeration. I mean, people, half of it was mobsters, and they were coming in and laundering money from the tri-state area. Back in those days, that's what they did. And so you'd be on a dead game. I was on one of the top crews, and you just sit there, and all of a sudden, there's a garbage bag full of cash. Boom. Give me some checks. Mr. B, welcome. And now they're taking care of him. And after a while, I was promoted to boxman. I had to count out like $500,000. It's a half an hour's procedure. Jeez. Boom, boom, boom. Units of five. And then once we finally get the checks out to this guy, now his pal's on the other side. Boom, boom. It took like 3 hours to establish a game. It gets roped off. And it was just fucking chaos. And then I come out here to Vegas. Downtown, they had 25-cent craps. But I loved it because now it was people. You got to keep the tips, the tokes that you made. Atlantic City was it was great business-wise for the people that owned it. It was just a fucking factory. It was
you
ridiculous.
got fucked by the IRS, right?
That I can't talk about.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to get re-fucked. Is this my kind of...
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, Becker works in a bar.
I thought you were going to say he works for the IRS. I get an in.
Everyone's
I just
IRS.
Yeah.
Call back to another
No.
podcast. But they assume 8% in total.
No, let me go. Yeah, well, let me deal with that. Because that I can talk. Because it was the whole
what I'm talking
situation.
about.
It was an odd situation. It really was.
This is going to go racist in a second.
Yeah, the racist IRS.
Well, no,
Fucking vultures.
the people that don't tip, and you go, they're charging me 8%.
Yeah, they're saying you do.
So
Yeah.
you're not just not tipping me, you're taking money out of my
But
pocket.
my
if you
thing
don't
is,
tip.
and I want to refuse service to people who don't tip me. And if they happen to be somebody of a different type, it's not because I'm doing it because they don't tip me, and the IRS says you are. So I said, now you've created a hostile work environment, which is actually a federal law. So I'm going to use that law to fight the tipping law.
Yes, I think you should go with that. What they did in Las Vegas, which is really strange. Yeah, go with that one. And
It's not a hate crime if it's a hostile work environment.
You created it.
Exactly. That's funny. But what they did, which was very strange, they would ask people, because everybody, like, it was like cocktail waitresses. If you worked during a day shift, I had girls that I was with, I'm on days, this sucks, Susie makes, 500 to 600 a night, I'm making $150 or something. They did the same thing eventually to cocktail waitresses. They did it to the dealers all over the strip, all downtown. They'd figure out if it was a dice crew. They found out who made the most. And then they would assume everybody did.
Yeah.
And that was ridiculously unfair, but
That's
who the fuck are you to fight against
backwards way to figure that
the
out.
acronym?
Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's find the most
They
successful
wouldn't do that
one.
with car salesmen.
No, I mean, but it was so many freaking years ago, and we still had the opportunity to still make great money, that was part of the fucking. You accepted it, and you move on. So I've had a great life in this town. Oh, fucking great life.
So it sounds like you like had to deal with a lot of connected men, mobsters. Like, is there a time like as I'm pushing my nose so they're crooked, giving the signal. These fucking mobsters. Was there a time you were ever like nervous dealing with somebody? Like, if you say the wrong thing to somebody, like you.
Yeah. The guys that you were working for, no player, anybody. There was constant beefs, but also really they were so fucking great, and this is why that old. You should have been here in the old days because it was so great. They gave away comps, and they did. It was a different fucking time. You would get, hey, Mr. B, how you doing? You and the missus, you want to go eat, you drink, anything? It was constant comps. Now you blow $100,000,
You'll remember
and
this
you won't
when
even
they
get a
had
free
Lucy
cup of coffee.
cigarettes on the
Pretty
fucking-
much. I mean, it's fucked
you
up.
just pick up a cigarette out of a cup.
Oh yeah,
Lucy's.
on the
oh yeah,
bar,
the
yeah.
little lucite things. You would go up. You didn't even have to play. Hey, how you doing? What time is Bobby gonna? He'll be here in a little while. Good. And you
Grab a bunch of
yeah,
cigarettes.
while talking and schmoozing. Get the fuck out. Would you like a drink? Sure. And you just yak, and you're out. I mean, that was everywhere. It was so fun.
Our reference is a lot shorter than, of course, yours. But the thing is, we came here at
Thank God I can yak.
the right
That's
time when we go through it. But when we went to the Plaza the first time, remember we went with the kid from Australia? We came
Oh,
up.
Mikey 182 out of Adelaide.
Yep. So we came up, but we played poker in the poker room. That's when we had a lot of stories there, poker room. And then we came back the next year. We came back a year later. Becky and I are walking through the casino floor, and we hear this on the overhead. Uh-oh, cocktails to the poker room. The Alaskans are back.
Yeah.
And
That was a
that's
red
why,
flag.
that's how I run my bar. I run it like that. I know everybody's name. I know their drinks, I think. And
I
that's
told
how Vegas
Tom all
used to
about
be.
why you're the best bartender
yeah.
in the world.
Oh, absolutely.
But let's back up to Mikey 182. I still remember. This is 1996, 7-ish.
That was a good year.
This, no, a little later, because I think I got email around 99, thanks to James Inman for teaching me the computer.
I was 11 in '96. Let's go.
It was. I was just online, and I was getting. And this kid emails me, "I'm coming to see you in L.A. from Australia." My shit had just got on like Napster or something. And he's like, "I'm going to come see you. I'm coming from Australia." And I said, "Well, okay, I'm going to be at the Comedy Store." This is when the Comedy Store was a piece of shit. It was dead.
And it was Halloween night.
Was it Halloween?
Yeah, that's why we were there.
I know it was a Sunday, Monday, whatever. No one showed up, so they just didn't do a show. They would just close the place down. So we're out there going, this fucking kid came from Australia. So we're sitting outside the Comedy Store that's closed. He shows up. I'm like, "Sorry, you came all the way to see my show, but there's no show." And then we go, "Fuck it, want to go to Vegas?"
Yeah. And it was
So
that
we
kind of
drive through the
conversation.
night.
No, it was happenstance. No, that's beautiful.
Drive through the night to Vegas. We
Yeah,
spent
yeah.
like 3 days with this kid.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And we all wore jackets.
Oh wait,
That's-
were you at the show? Because this is how this ends. Bobby Lee, that place in San Diego where I got booed off stage. I don't think you came to it. He did because he had to fly out of LA after
That's
that.
right.
Matt too.
That
Matt
1,500
TV's
seater,
Bobby Lee.
4th and B, it's called in San Diego. It was this huge gig. It sat like 1,500 people, but they papered it, and no one paid, so it would fill up, and they do a intermission before the headliner. So the MC goes out. They hate him, boo him. Bobby Lee goes out, destroys. Intermission. We wait. Then I wait for the MC. They're booing him even worse. They're shitting on him when they bring me out. So I just went out and went, "Don't you ever fucking boo a fucking comic, you pieces of shit. You fuck." So now 1,500 people with nothing to lose because they don't know me and they didn't pay anything to get in turn on me. So it's me against 1,500. It's like that
Like Bill
Detroit
Burr.
Pistons fight where
God.
the Pistons,
That's even worse.
that basketball fight where the players went into the stands and tried to fight everybody.
Fucking, yeah, just fucking.
It looked. I walked like 1,100 people.
Isn't Bobby Lee from San Diego though? I think Bobby Lee's from San Diego.
It doesn't
But
matter.
I'm just saying, it's like it was a hometown crowd.
When I went out and said, "Don't you fucking boo the MC," and then and I went, "Fuck you! I'll just bring Bobby Lee back." You want that? Worst thing I could have said.
Yes, that's exactly what we want. Well, you're not going to get that either.
I just buried myself
funny, dog.
so deep, but I kept going. You know me. I
No,
ain't
I know.
stopping.
He's amazing. He really
I will
is.
not stop, you fucking assholes. The more you boo me, the more I like it. But that I remember that because Mikey182 that was his email handle from Australia. He had been with us through Vegas and came to San Diego because he never saw me perform.
So he's going to
he
finally see
saw-
a show.
The only show he saw
This is
was
what he walked
one of
into.
the worst shows
that's
I've
hysterical.
ever done in my career.
He flew across Pacific,
Yeah.
then drove like 8+ hours through the
Well,
desert
yeah.
to be let down by a
Days of-
zero.
Yeah.
And then
he
he
probably
can't-
lost in Vegas too. I'm
And then
sure.
he canceled Napster. It's all a lie.
Oh my God.
So that was the show he saw.
That's great.
It's very funny. I forgot he was there for that.
You talk about a difference, though, between Vegas and Atlantic City. The thing that was interesting is that all the bosses, at least for the first 4 or 5 casinos, I was out before it ended up dozens. Now it's like whatever. I haven't been back since like 1990. But if you were a boss from Vegas, like we had a guy, I won't say his last name at Harris. His name was Johnny C. We'll call him Johnny. They called him Johnny C. No,
Cunt cocksucker?
So you did.
Ah, we know who you're
cocksucker
talking about.
motherfucker. It was Jack Lemmon.
So you did say.
You know that. You know the reference from that studio. That's it. He always asks, what's your favorite curse word? And that's what he said on the actor. So, yeah. But no, this was it. So this guy was a pit boss from Caesar's
Tom
Palace.
Konopka's phone name was Johnny Off Topic.
Exactly. And it's still, the roots go deep. But what this boss did, it was so fucking busy. It was a Saturday night, and it was just jamming. And you could not even to get to the break room, it took 20 minutes. And you only had about 20 minutes, so you couldn't eat. You're running back. A guy 7'd out. He's on the dice step. 7 out line away, and he had a fucking heart attack. And there's people 5 deep. And when he went down, the people backed up, and everybody, what do we do? And this guy says, there it is. That's all right. I think he's gone anyway. You didn't hear it. Edit that out, or I'll be out in the desert next week. But no, the guy had a heart attack, and the people stepped back, and they
The
said,
mob
what
must
should we
be
do?
way better at finding you because I've been
No,
Googling
exactly.
you for years. I couldn't find you.
Exactly. I was on it's a witness protection. Well, when he fell out, the people were saying, what should we do? He literally went down, checked, and he went up and went like this, gestured. The guy's done. He said, get a fucking roll. Quote, means move the dice. And now the people they were kind of freaked, but he's like, come on, kick that fucking, and he's literally kicking. He's dead. Kick him under. Let's get a roll. Do you want to play? Get the fuck in. That's literally what was going down. It was hysterical.
Oh, if a guy
It
dies
was
to your
sad
table,
for-
that's good luck.
No, but what else are you going to do? What are you
no,
going to do? The guy's fucking
My
dead.
brother's father-in-law, you know the story? Died at Foxwoods. He was a huge gambler, loved his poker.
Yeah.
Fucking left the table, sat down, had a heart attack, and died. But you cannot die at Foxwoods Casino. What they do is you're dead. They call an ambulance. They drive you off the property and then pronounce you dead.
My God.
And this is recently.
That's incredible.
Yeah, no one can die at Foxwoods.
But
It's bad
is
publicity.
his hand still alive? Your cards are in play. Get the cards off the property too. Your hand's dead, sir.
Put the chips in his tit pocket and get him out of here.
But that is the mentality. The idea is every roll of the dice, when you
It's
win,
money.
they win.
Yeah.
When you lose, they win. Every second clicking in Atlantic City back then was money. And realistically, what else were they going to do? The guy was dead. The ambulance isn't right there. They're going to have to come. Eventually, they crowded them out, and they took him out on a fucking gurney. They're not going to stand a reason. So people immediately, literally, I'm watching, they're stepping on the guy. Let me give it 27 across. Just
What was your
nothing.
biggest toke?
But see, in Atlantic, this is another motivation.
anywhere.
No. It's the thousands. But this is what the difference was. In Atlantic City, you had to split it with the 21 pit. You had to split it. When you come to Vegas, it's table for table. Here, where the
Do you
dice.
split
This
tips,
is a
Becker?
great dice
Becker.
pool right here. This time, you split whatever you make that shift. You walk with. Now it was a whole different art. Like there, we were like, we were young, 18, 19, 20-year-old cocktail waitresses and dealers. You can't have a 90-year-old guy dealing dice. So we were like Bruce Lee out there, but we didn't make any fucking money. We didn't know how to take care of people. Now when you come to Vegas and it's this little quarter craps, but the dealers are making bank, it's because they know how to talk to the players. They called it hustling. It's a legal thing. Hey, you're enjoying yourself. Mr. B, put one down for the boys. When you win, we win.
This
built
you
Vegas.
saying that to me like
no.
Committed to your table for life
Yeah,
now.
listen to me.
Even in this fake
No, you educate
scenario.
the player, but only, this is the rule, but only after they've won 3 or 4 times, and only when you've been on a crew for a few years. It's always a new guy with 3 old guys, and the first thing they tell you, don't say shit, listen to what we say. Just watch us. Because if you say some shit and one of the players is pissed, we're all fucked. So just watch. And eventually they give you the green light and say, go, ask him for a bet. I'm yakking on that. But
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
it's
no.
also-
This is
how
a part of
I
this
want
is
Chaille-
on topic.
I wanted
hope.
Chaille
Just tell me to shut
to,
up.
because when we checked in here, we got here at noon on Thursday. You can't check in until 3, so we
Right.
sat behind the bar where you met us,
Yeah.
looking out at the
Sure.
dealers, and it's dead.
Yeah.
It's Thursday at fucking noon to 3.
Right.
So there's 3, and I watched the 3 dealers that had nobody at their tables. And I'm like, I'm not ready to gamble, but I watched one of the 3. There was 2 deadpan, dead-eyed Asians, and then the other chick that was dancing to the shitty piped-in music, and she's dancing. And I thought I want to gamble at her table because she looks like fun. But she's some fucking weird Chinese 21 or something. I don't know. Some fucking game I don't know. But as we're sitting there waiting for Tom Konopka to show up, I realized her table filled up first because she's looking
There's the
pretty
sizzle.
and
I
she's
mean, it's all
dancing,
Vegas.
and the other 2
And you
are
can't teach that. It's
lurch.
amazing now because
No,
you'll
that's
see it in
correct.
Vegas, but you see it everywhere
Yeah,
now.
Yeah.
But
But even
it doesn't matter what you do. If you're if you're a plumber who is having a good time and loving your life fucking unclogging drains, everyone's like, I want that fucking dude to unclog my drains. He's gonna be a good fucking friend.
But see, this is a problem. And like he explained it was, if you start sharing it with all the servers and the dealers make the same amount, like socialism, then I don't give a shit. I make
no
the same
motivation.
amount no matter
Exactly,
what. I hope
exactly.
you work hard, Tom.
Yeah.
Because I'll make the same amount.
there
Thanks.
you go, my friend.
Speaking
And
of,
You make more if he makes more money.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, but yeah.
Speaking of gambling, hey, can we do this as a SwapCast? I know I jumped in late. I had to deal with some problems, but can we make this a SwapCast?
I'll okay that.
We
I'll
should
okay
have
this.
a SwapCast.
Yeah,
with
I think
we've never had a SwapCast before.
again.
I know you
Have
could
we?
use.
Yeah. Yeah.
Call to the
Yeah.
wild?
Near the
Call
wild.
of the wild?
Near the Wild, Alaska. Anyway, he's a superstar. He doesn't remember
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
We did do it when it was a SwapCast, but that's the thing that we're doing now. So.
Yeah, it was SwapCast. No, we did do SwapCast.
I can talk to the, I
because
can talk
it
to
was
the
in
producer.
Vegas.
I can talk to the producer of this show.
Yeah.
and maybe he'll let it.
I
happen.
think if he will.
it's the first time you did it again.
Chaille,
Yeah,
if Doug's,
this
if
is
Doug's
a deja
podcast
vu all
needs a
over
little
again.
bump from our Near the Wild crowd, I'm willing to help him
Saying
out.
wrap it up, but let's go. Let's do some gambling together
I
because we have
agree.
not gambled
We have not
together.
gambled, and that is not supposed to happen when we come
Let's
out
hit the
here.
tables, boys.
We're doing play some roulette.
Yes.
We're gonna, a little let it ride, maybe. Yeah.
For fun, yeah,
for
fuck
fun,
it.
not for free room.
I have a
like
bad
that
taste
one
in my
time.
mouth after the fucking roulette beating I took, where I'm still up, but
Yeah.
I kicked the shit out of him on Friday, and then I lost 3/4 of it back.
But what's the rule?
on-
The rule is when you kick the shit out on Friday, you put 200 in, and if you lose the 200, you walk away from that table.
That is
you
the
don't
rule.
put 800 in and go, I killed you yesterday.
that is the
That's called the loser at the game.
All right, hey,
Oh, before we leave, I gotta say, this podcast is sponsored by Tracy's new Etsy store. If you guys want to buy some custom crocheted,
coasters while you wait.
There's
These
the
are
best.
You order a beer as it starts to melt around the edges and condensate. By the time you're done with that beer, she will make you a coaster doing her needle point because that's her hot move.
Yeah, that's right.
Matt Becker, thank you for having me. Chad Shank,
Shank.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Tom
Thank you
Konopka,
so much, man.
Thank you,
Pleasure,
Tom.
all you guys.
your other guy.
John, call him John Norris.
Doug hates me
You
so
probably
much.
know him from NPR. He
I've been giving him shit since he
you
got
probably
here.
know
I
him.
don't even know who you
NPR. He created the what's called the Ken Burns audio effect.
are. You know what? The difference between John Norris and our other podcast guest, he doesn't cry when you fuck with him.
Or require a ticket to be flown in.
I keep it on the inside.
The ticket, that is.
Yeah, the tickets.
Oh, thank you for clarifying.
That's how I pay for my ticket. I take
Oh,
it.
okay.
I take it on the inside.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it very much, Doug. Congratulations, 25 years.
Right.
Let's
That's
hit
it.
the
That's what this
tables.
is
Let's
about.
go hit the
Show.
table.
I got a good feeling about this
Stanhope.
one, Becker.
Stanhope.
Yes, I do too. You've listened to another episode of Near the Wild. I'm Matt Becker, sitting in a hotel room near a pool.
I'm John Norris, wishing I was in a bus in Anchorage, Alaska, but Vegas is all right too.
And I'm Ggreg Chaille signing off from that same hotel room. Guys, let's go have some fun. Let's do
All
it.
right. Look out, pie gown tables.
That's not even a game.
Yes, it is. It's a culture. It's a lifestyle.
But it's not really a sport.
If you don't need special shoes, it's not a sport.
Tom, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I hope it wasn't too cartoonish.
You've been listening to the Near the Wild podcast with Matt Becker and John Norris, recorded in Anchorage, Alaska on Matt Becker's Backyard Bus. Engineered by me, Ggreg Chaille.